Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, the daily show coming at you from the great state of Florida. One hell of a drug. And I do want to welcome you to the channel wherever you are tuning in from around the world. Thanks for watching. Today, the title of the show is it too late to buy? This is the question that I'm being asked seemingly non-stop over the last week. And I'm going to share two coins today that I do believe that it's not too late to buy and could be an incredible opportunity and setup. And we're going to, of course, look at the charts, look at some news. But before we do that, smash the like button. This does help get the channel out to more people and does, of course, help support the channel, as does your wonderful comments that you take the time to write and I take the time to read them and respond. Thank you so much for that. Just quickly in the news, a couple of news items. Number one, we have, and so it begins, the CEO of Tether is partnering with Bitfinex, SoftBank, Jack Mallers, official Cantor, 21, a new Bitcoin native company to rival MicroStrategy, which is mission to maximize Bitcoin ownership per share, 42,000 Bitcoin will be part of that. So I'll keep you in the loop with that. And if I start trading there, or when that starts trading, of course, it will be very, very interesting. Will that eat into MicroStrategy? That'll be interesting to see there with that. We also had our favorite Jim Cramer. There's absolutely no way Bitcoin goes above $1 million US. I just don't see it happening. Guess what? Bitcoin's now going to $1 million. Let's celebrate. I do think Bitcoin can get to $1 million, but I would think that would be some time in the future there. I just thought that was fairly humorous there. Let's look at the Bitcoin charts. First of all, we're making a little bit of a bull flag on the daily time frame. We might just pause and cool off here a little bit and alts can run, which would be great. Of course, there is a possibility that we get some kind of a pullback. Personally, I'd like to see Bitcoin stay up well away from the 200-day moving average until we have the Sunday close. Now, remember, that's key for me. If we were to drop below the 200-day moving average and close below there and Sunday close happens, then that would be very concerning for me, and that would likely invalidate this move. And this was just a dead cat bounce, and it's quite possible we go into a bear market from there. Okay, this is very important. So watch the Sunday close. However, if it stays above here and closes above the 200-day moving average, which is currently, for those of you driving, big shout out to all you road warriors out there, 88,800 is the current price. We would want to stay above there. And it has broken through a key Fibonacci resistance, 92,100. It's currently above that. It's trying to push up another Fibonacci at 94,160. It hasn't been able to break above that. But either way, I do see the possibility of a pullback, possibly to 200-day moving average. This will make sense. Look at this candle over here from the 24th of March before we broke down and made that low down there. That candle's sitting at around 88,700, right about where the 200-day moving average is. So I actually wouldn't be surprised if we did get a pullback into that region to retest as support. The 20 EMA on the weekly is also rising rapidly. That's at 87,000 now. And so I would expect that to get retested at some point as well. So if this does get above, before Bitcoin comes back down to the 200-day moving average, if the 20 EMA on the weekly gets above that, it may not come as low as the 200-day moving average. It might come and get, so keep an eye on the 20 EMA on the weekly. That's currently sitting at 87,200, but it's rising extremely rapidly. Just a few days ago it was down here at 84. So this is rising very, very quickly. So keep an eye on that, the 200-day moving average and the 20 EMA on the weekly. I would expect a retest of one or both at some point. And of course, it may not happen right away. Bitcoin could keep going a little bit, but it would be nice if it consolidate a little bit, maybe allow these moving averages and EMAs to catch up to a little bit. So when it pulls back, it's more around this area, because that one might happen. By the time it comes down and retests those, it could be at 90,000, for example. Okay. So I say 88 and 87 because that's where those key moving averages and EMA is right now. But by the time it comes down, if those are much higher, then I'll reassess that value and say I'll see more of around 90,000, maybe even up here at 90, where the 100-day moving average currently around 90,900. So that could be where it pulls back to as well. So those are the areas that I'm looking for. Bitcoin for me is not a buy. If you didn't get it when I told many months, I've been sharing March. Actually, how long has it been? Yeah, for the last month and a half, I've been sharing my buys every time that I've touched the tribal trade, or Bitcoin's touched the tribal trade trend line, one line to rule them all. I was buying, and I was very clear about this on this channel. I said I was nibbling. When I got down to here, I said I was buying more when it hit the 50-week moving average and the 50 EMA on the weekly. And when it came up here, these were my last buys here as it hit the support at 83, and it hit and found support on the other tribal trades trend line that was resistance. When it came in here and hit support, there were buys every day there. I was buying, and then it took off, and my last buy, I believe, was here, and it retested the 50-day moving average at 84. So that's not a buy for me at the moment. But what is a buy? I have a couple of coins for you this morning that are buys, and one of those is Ondo. And Ondo is looking to tokenize real-world assets. News has broken that it's working with the SEC to tokenize real-world assets on-chain like Apple, where you can trade Apple on the Ondo blockchain. It's got its own blockchain. It's moving off Ethereum, okay? That's a story for another day. And, of course, we have great price appreciation there. Now, I did give the trade in the Tribal Trades Discord at 81 cents here on the Wednesday, and on the Tuesday there, I gave these trades all here, actually, all this week, Wednesday and Thursday of that week. I gave that. It took off. I still actually think it's a buy as long as it holds above $1. So it needs to hold above $1. If it can't hold above $1, we can look at coming back to 95 cents. That could have been an entry yesterday, by the way, and I did give that entry yesterday in the Discord there in the crypto plays section. However, I do think as it breaks above this key area, there is Fibonacci's. There's a 200 EMA on the daily, 2 Fibonacci's, huge. You can see it's struggling to get through there. I eventually do believe it'll break through there. So $1.02, you could front run it at $1 and get it now at $1. However, if it breaks below, you may want to have a stop loss, stop out of that trade and get back in. Or, of course, you can just, if you're a firm believer this is going to keep coming up, you could get a dollar cost average entry at the 50 EMA on the weekly there at 95. However, then you see that 105 resistance and then 110. But after 110, we're just going to be off to the races with Ondo is the most likely probability, as long as Bitcoin stays in an uptrend. Bitcoin has moved and has created higher highs. There you go, a higher high and a higher low. So it is now in an uptrend. It's flipped from a downtrend to an uptrend. Remember, I gave those levels there. This was the level to get above, to break, which was 88,500 to create a higher high. It's done that. It is officially in an uptrend. While it stays in an uptrend, if Bitcoin goes into a downtrend on the daily time frame, then I will look at cutting my trades here. But I'm staying in my Ondo trade. I'm still in my Ondo trade from 81 cents. Okay, so this can be the move, a break above $1.02, a retest of support, and then we're off to the races. We might find a little bit of resistance there, a little bit of resistance there, and then we're off and running. This would probably be the last place that I would look at adding a buy for Ondo, but why buy $1.10 when you can get in at $1 there? So Ondo is one of the trades there. The other one is Solana. Solana is the other trade. We just need to see a break above the tribal trade. There it is again, the tribal trades trend line, one line to rule them all again, is guiding resistance there and has come right up into it. A break above that And I believe we're going to see a nice move up to 163, 100-day moving average. Then you have a couple more there, but this is where you would get. I don't think it's too late to get in the Solana trade. Sure, I did give the buy signal in the Tribal Trades Discord at $141. So if you got that 142, if you got that break at 142, then that 154 now is where we need to get above. And it's right on there now. So a break above there, and that could be a wonderful trade. That is a trade that you can get in right now, both for swing and for scalp. If you want to how to do leverage trading, you can learn to do so in the Tribal Trades Discord. Listen, look at this alert that was given in the Crypto Plays section. Look at the date there. The 17th of April. These were the prices. Bitcoin 84. That was my last buy. Sui 209. That was my last buy of Sui. Ondo 81. That was my last buy. Solana 141, 140. There was the actually it was 133. So I actually gave the Solana trade at 133. That's already up to 154. Tau 231. That's up at $365 right now. Okay, the Sui is up at $3.60 something. I gave the target, but look what I put down the bottom here. It says, see my morning market update in the general channel. I give a morning market update in the general channel, which is here. If you haven't seen my YouTube video from this morning, please check this out. If the charts stay true to as they are currently, which they have, this could be our last opportunity to get swing trades in and any final buys before the bull run resumes. Okay, I gave that. There it is, April 17th, Thursday, April 17th. That was the warning and the heads up that I gave to everybody in the Discord. Quickly jumped over to the general channel so you can see this. I even put a video out on YouTube for all of you wonderful YouTube family out there. No, not a bear market. And I shared these same thoughts here. The morning market update for Bitcoin. Is this the last chance to buy before the bull market resumes? Look at the date on that. That is dated, same date there, April the 17th there, Thursday. Last chance to buy before the bull market resumes. The chart supports this, in my opinion. The weekly stochastic RSI is oversold. Historically, this has been a good time to buy, and a few others there. And so I did share there. I have continued to add to my Bitcoin buys on the break and hold of support of these two levels. And obviously that's gone. 84K was the last chance there. So I shared that in the Discord. And some people say, I can't afford the Discord. You can't afford not to be in a Discord where you're in a community getting great technical analysis, support and training and education. And of course, entertainment, because I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. Are you not entertained? And so these are some of the plays that you could have got for less than a cup of coffee a day. For less than a cup of coffee a day, you could have paid for the Discord, not just for the month, but probably for the next year. Some people have made thousands and thousands of dollars, less than a cup of coffee a day, around $1.50 per day is what it would cost you to be part of the Tribal Trades Discord. There is a link below in the description of this video. You might need to click the more button. That will pop out and you'll be able to get started on your journey in the Discord. I'd love to see you in there. I'm also in the Stocks with Josh Discord. I have my own Crowned Traders channel in there. I have been teaching leverage classes in there. I've taught about 3 leverage classes in there so that you can learn how to make money on the way up and on the way down, and when the market is going sideways. Of course, the market is going up at the moment, so you can kind of supercharge your trades, but you can do so responsibly there and learn how to do it the right way, okay, without risking your capital and without risking getting wrecked. Very, very important. And we have people in the Discord that have only learned to do leverage within the last month and are already making thousands of dollars per trade. Okay, so this is something you don't think you can learn it. This is something that you can learn, and maybe you don't have the time to learn it, and that's okay. And this is why I have these incredible swing trades that I set up for those of you who may work 9 to 5. You can get in these trades and just let them run for a few days or a few weeks, for as long as they run. Okay, so absolutely amazing. So I have all of that, and I'm in the Stocks with Josh Discord as well. I share a lot of my resources and education in there, and give a lot of help to the amazing Stocks with Josh family in there. Much love to all of you out there. We're going to leave it there for today, and as always, until the next episode, or until I see you in the Discord, happy trading.